Hey everyone, welcome back to Create with Mo. If you're new here, I'm Mo, and I love building simple, modern furniture that you can make at home with just a few basic tools. On today's episode, I'm going to be making this pedestal out of a 20mm pine. Alright, let's grab the wood I'll be using for this build and then onto the workbench it goes. Quick measurement to make sure everything lines up, and now we can start cutting down the first piece nice and clean. I'm taking my time here. You always want straight cuts, so let the blade do the work. So we're done now cutting all our pieces. What we're going to do now is give them a little sanding, and then after that we assemble the whole unit. I'm starting off with sanding all the pieces. When you're working with pine, sanding is super important because the surface can feel a bit fuzzy. A quick sand makes the final finish look much cleaner. I'm also going over the edges. Don't rush this part. Clean edges make your furniture look much more professional. If you're building this at home, always sand in the direction of the grain to avoid scratches. Now to assembling the bedside table. Before screwing anything together, I'm marking out where each screw will go and pre-drilling the holes. Pre-drilling is one of the best habits to avoid splitting pine, especially near the edges. I've got everything clamped down to keep the pieces steady. Clamps really help you to get cleaner, straighter joints when you're building furniture. Now I'm driving in the screws. I like to take my time here. Slow, controlled pressure helps keep the joints tight. If you're building one of these at home, always check that your frame stays square as you go. I'm flipping the piece around so that I can be able to attach the bottom and the middle section of the bedside table. I'm using clamps again to make sure everything lines up perfectly and it's square. Alignment is key with furniture like this. If you rush this step, the whole bedside table can seat uneven, and we do not want that. I'm continuing with the pre-drilling here. You'll notice that as I go on, I'm clearing off the buildup on the drill bit. That is just excess sawdust that is being collected as I continue to drill. Removing it helps the bit to cut cleaner and stops it from also slipping. Now I'm fastening all the remaining screws. This stage really pulls the entire structure together. Just a bit of a tip here, and that's something that maybe you can take and use on your projects. What I like doing here is to tighten all these screws gradually so that the frame stays aligned and doesn't shift around while I'm working on it. With everything now secured, I'm taking off the clamps and giving the bedside table a quick inspection to make sure everything is straight. I'm now marking the position for the first hinge hole. I'm using a 35mm Forstner bit to make the hinge cup hole. These bits cut really clean circles, so they are perfect for cabinets and door hinges. I'm keeping the drill steady and letting the bit do the work. I'm finishing off the second hinge hole here. Before attaching the hinges, I'm test fitting them to make sure that everything lines up properly. Now I'm putting in the first screw to hold the hinge in place. I go on and add the second screw to secure that hinge fully. Here I'm fastening the screw for the second hinge as well. Now I can mount the door onto the frame. I'm lining it up carefully and driving in the screws so the door opens smoothly and stays straight. I continue to tighten the last screw on the door. For the legs, I'm marking out an angle using a piece I already cut out as a template earlier. I'm making 8 pieces in total so I can double them up for stronger legs. I'll be using a Mitre saw to cut these legs. Cut the angle side to match the template. Once all the pieces have been cut, I take all of them and then I give them a quick sand so that the edges are smooth and that they are ready for assembly. I'm joining two pieces together using bread nails to make each leg thicker and sturdier. And here's the next set of legs getting the same treatment. Now I'm attaching the first set of legs. With legs, alignment is everything. Take your time and ensure that everything aligns well. Next, I'm fitting a Masonite board at the back of the table. I then secure the board with few small nails, lightly tapping the nails to ensure that I don't dent the wood. Here I'm positioning a handle that I made. I kept it simple, clean and straight. Sometimes simplicity is the best design. Now I'm attaching it with two screws. I made sure that my handle is centered. Measuring is a must. A slightly skew handle can throw off the entire look. So this is worth doing right. So that's it now. Our pedestal is now done. What's left is to apply a stain on it, and then we'll take it to the bedroom and then put it to good use. Actually, before I finish it off, help me out. What stain do you think would look best? Please drop your recommendations in the comment section.